injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Concern. We're all concerned. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Doesn't matter what the scenario is. Concern comes into play. You may be concerned that every single road in Jacksonville is under construction. You may be concerned that regardless if you're going east, west, north, or south, don't go too far south. Someone's going to pull in front of you and go 15 miles per hour under the speed limit. You may be concerned that your wife is going to leave you for a better-looking guy who makes more money. And then we get to concerns that really mean everything. What in the hell is going on with your team, and how do you fix it? Enter the 2025 Jaguars. And let's start by saying they've overachieved. This has been a pretty good start of the year. Think of where you were a year ago when the Jaguars in the month of September just pointed to you, pointed to your wife, pointed to your girlfriend, pointed to your kids, and laughed at you. They said you will get absolutely no enjoyment out of the 2024 season. We're going to fumble on the goal line at Miami, and we're going to watch a 14-point swing occur, and that's it. Week after week after week after week after week after week, going to lose. Not this year. You got out of the gate 4-1. You won some big games. Went on the road in San Francisco. Won Monday night against Kansas City. I get it. It's stalled as of late, and there are concerns. So what are we going to do on into the night? We're going to talk about them. And honestly speaking, how many of them, and there's quite a few, and again, that's not a slap at the Jaguars, because this is a better organization than it was a year ago. This is a better football team than it was a year ago. The future, there's a real chance here. There is. But we have seen now with the sample size, nearly halfway at 7 out of the 17, that there are problems. They've identified the problems. I think they've been very transparent in talking about the problems. Realistically, how do you fix them? And can you fix them? And as I just said with Hayes, Hayes and Ryan, every team has them. This ain't your mom and dad's NFL. I mean, the days of the Patriots are gone. The Chiefs are even kind of in limbo a little bit. I know they had a big-time game this past weekend, but it doesn't feel like classic Chiefs. If you were to go to the beginning of the year, maybe 3 teams that you would identify as top 5 in the league have struggled as of late. Buffalo and Baltimore, both coming off of byes. Philadelphia. I mean, some craziness. And we know that it is very difficult to compete, consecutively win Super Bowls in the NFL. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. As always, there will be a ton of input coming in from you. We pride ourselves on that here on Into the Night. And it's not because I don't enjoy talking, and it's not because I don't always have something to say. We just appreciate the listener. 641-1010 text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, let's welcome those in tonight watching on YouTube at 1010XL Into the Night. And please, what is the drink of choice? I kind of wish the World Series was starting tonight. I hate the fact that we have to wait a couple of more days, but that is life. Only one more day for football. You got some college games, but the NFL does return tomorrow night, and then, really an opportunity to take a deep breath this weekend. If you're a Seminole fan, if you are a Gator fan, if you are a Jaguars fan, this is the time, and then it's full blast beginning next week. Okay. I've really given this a lot of thought. And Hayes Carline and I talked about really one of these issues earlier this morning on Duval Rundown. And, that was a time constraints. We're going to move forward in the game because of time constraints. It was about a 20-minute segment where I could spend 20 minutes on each and every one of these particular issues. But I really want to instead identify these issues and then ask the question, can you fix it? Or is it done? And it's unfixable for this season. And again, this is where we're really going to ask you to contribute. As far as I'm concerned right now, the biggest concern on this football team is Brian Thomas Jr. And I have zero explanation for you. Okay? This is bizarre. I spent the off year talking about him becoming a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. If you look at great teams, if you look at perennial playoff teams, if you look at Super Bowl contenders, what do they have? Elite players. Most have very good quarterbacks, franchise quarterbacks, but they are also surrounded by elite football players. They are. Look at your last Super Bowl champions. Go through it year after year after year. I thought Brian Thomas Jr. was entering that particular realm, if you will, where you could say, well, over in Duval, you've got a superstar. You've got a top 5 guy. I've never been a big fan of the rankings. It happens during the offseason. I get it. People need stuff to write about. It's the time that it does occur, but it's the top 100 players. It's the top 10 guys at this position, whatever. They all come out with them. And it's decent fodder, but I've never been a big fan of it because it's so subjective. And I think a lot of these national writers, they don't get an opportunity to see all 32 teams week in, week out. And certainly you can tell by what the national media, for the most part, writes. They don't spend a lot of time watching Jacksonville, okay? But I thought that was the case with Brian Thomas Jr. So if you ask yourself this question right now, does Jacksonville have anyone close on their roster who's elite? No, it's not even close. Your highest paid offensive guy, Trevor Lawrence, hell no. Your highest paid defensive guy, Josh Hines-Allen, no. I mean, Josh Hines-Allen is close. 7 more pressures last week, playing good football. But there are people who are going to look at the sack statistic only and see a half sack and say he's not living up to the pay. Right or wrong, that's how a lot of people are going to grade his performance. Where, for the most part, because I will say that the 2 players that I mentioned, Lawrence and Hines-Allen, I think are the most criticized players in the city. Now, there are some that regardless of what they do, the support is there, and you're going to have their back. It's waned a little bit for both recently, in my opinion. Then there's the other side. There's those who believe it's never going to work for Trevor Lawrence. There's those who believe it's never going to be, a deep double-digit sack type of season for Josh Hines-Allen like it was during his contract year. I mean, listen, I'm a sponge. I take in everything that is said, form my own opinion, but certainly I listen to either side of all of this. So back to Brian Thomas Jr. He's really the only one. Now, Hunter could be there in a couple of years. Absolutely. One of these young offensive linemen that is not playing right now, a Wyatt Milam, he could be there in a couple of years. I don't know. I mean, Trayvon Walker, you look at even before the injury, you look at defensive player of the year odds, and he's way, way down. No consideration at all for the top overall player, who I thought was having just a phenomenal season, before the injury, but still not elite, not at this point. Brian Thomas Jr. was the guy that I thought would get to that level, and this has been an incredible setback for him. How fixable is this? I thought 3 weeks ago he was starting to climb. We saw it in the San Francisco game, I believe it was, where I want to say he caught 5 balls on 7 attempts. And in that game, you could tell that Jacksonville made a lot of adjustments because all 7 of those attempts, Brian Thomas Jr. ran nothing but outs, okay? And it was better. He had the one that he probably should have hauled in on the sideline. He did not. And then came Kansas City, and you knew that Spags was going to be ready for this, one of the great defensive coordinators that we have seen, historically speaking, in the NFL. I want to say he has the most, I believe this is right, the most Super Bowl rings as a defensive coordinator. Well, you couldn't run him on only out patterns because Kansas City was going to be able to recognize that. They had to film the study. And to credit Jacksonville, you know, they changed his route pattern a little bit. His route tree changed. And even 2 weeks ago, an 8 for 10 effort, I think in a lot of circles would be considered good enough. Well, good enough is not the way I wanted to describe Brian Thomas Jr. I want him to be elite. Again, in that game, he had the huge drop in the fourth quarter on 3rd down. Can't do that. You cannot do that. Now, we saw CeeDee Lamb do it on opening night. I mean, it happens here and there, but not consistently. You know, earlier in the game, I said that he alligator-armed it. And again, a lot of you people out there got on me. You were so naughty with your commentary. You're like, hey, Ballou, you know, he defended an interception and, you know, he slipped on the turf. Okay. I saw it live. I didn't agree. I went back and watched it on tape. I didn't agree. But that's the beauty of it. You have your opinion. I have my opinion. Last week was just awful. Just terrible. Not quite Cincinnati-like, but really, really bad. So where is Jacksonville? How are they dealing with him mentally? What is going on inside this guy's head? He looks scared. He looks way beyond unassuming. I don't want to go as far as to say disinterested. It's his profession. We know he's always been a silent type, you know, really basically an unassuming type, which is kind of cool in a diva-filled position. And look at the stuff that's come out this week in Detroit. And, you know, it seems like it's a weekly deal where wide receivers are popping off on social media, what have you. And I want to believe Jacksonville's doing everything that they can with all of the resources that they have. But something's going on. What is it? Is it as simple as he got lit up against Pittsburgh in the preseason? I've had people say that it's something that is personal. I don't know if it's personal. I don't ever want to dive into anything that is personal outside of saying if that's the case, I hope he's getting help and I hope he's all right because we've all seen the potential. So here's the end result as we head to the break. We're at a scenario now where it becomes less Brian Thomas Jr., right? More Travis Hunter. He becomes your premier target. Don't wait until 28 minutes in to feed him a reverse. Get him the ball. Travis Hunter proved it in camp, and he's proved it in his opportunities so far as a pro. Get him the football. Brian Thomas Jr. is still going to get his, but he should now be the second highest targeted wide receiver, in my opinion. And the chances of them fixing it this year, I would say, are less than 50%. Hope I'm wrong for your sake, but that would be my guess. Less than 50%. All right, 50% is bad in football terms. You know what's great in the terms of your eyes? 20/20 enter Shmunez vision. What would it be like right now? What would it be like the rest of your days to never have to worry about, honey, where the hell did I leave the readers? And, oh, my God, I just ran out of contact. No, over for good. You could be a candidate of laser eye surgery. Very inexpensive. And remember, the biggest component involved with Shmunez Vision, they are there to save you money. They are there to give you the best value for your money. Unfortunately, I'm not a candidate for laser eye surgery. But Dr. Neil Shmunez, 9 years ago, I went in for a normal checkup. He found something cancerous in my right eye. He said, brother, you need this removed immediately. The very next morning, I had surgery. There's never been a setback, never been an issue. My eyes are perfect. That is the type of care and respect that you're going to get from the good doctors at Shmunez. So Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. Check them out online at Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram and get the very latest there as far as testimonials at Shmunez Vision.
The tape doesn't lie, and neither does he. Jeff Lockeman breaks down the film and shares his insights with you Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Check the Tape Tuesday. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Northeast Florida Auto, Power Sports, and RV dealers. Tom McManus here for Dealer Connect. The nation's #1 AI conference for dealers is coming to Jacksonville October 29th and 30th at the Marriott Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach. It's 2 days of tackling the future of AI in automotive with some of the industry's biggest names. Keynote speaker, Hall of Famer Joe Theismann will autograph items to benefit the Tom Coughlin J Fund. Get tickets now at DealerConnect2025.com. That's DealerConnect2025.com.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit MorganConleyRoofing.org.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Thank you to Derek Trucks for joining us yesterday. They're in Friday night. They're in Saturday night. St. Aug. No place I'd rather be. Shows have been phenomenal so far. I guess cheated on YouTube. You can cheat on YouTube, right? If it's Tedeschi Trucks Band. I don't think there's any doubt about it. So we'll see you out there. There's a lot of parties going on Friday. Remember, schedule change. Just tell me when and where, and the truth teller will show up. God, Susan Tedeschi has such a great voice, and she's from Boston. She's like yours truly. We both left Boston, came to Jacksonville, and we call it our home. But it'll be 4 to 6 on Friday on the AM, 10:10 with a little bit of static and all that good stuff. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander likes to keep his number of cases small. Why? He gets personally involved in every case, and I can't tell you how important that is, that the man on the name of the practice is the one involved with your case. So if you have been injured, okay, car accident, regardless of what the set of circumstances are, you may feel alone. You may be desperate. Pick up the phone, 400-6600, free call, free consultation, and fire away. Ask questions such as, I can't afford the repairs of my vehicle. I have medical bills I cannot pay. I cannot get to work, etc. These are the type of questions that Rick Alexander is going to get from you, and they are going to present a case. Remember, you'll never come out of pocket. You don't pay a dime until everything is settled at the end. You want the individual care, you're going to get the individual care. Just go to Alexander Law Practice, and again, the number, 400-6600. Can they fix Brian Thomas Jr. after the bye week for the second half of the season?
I'd say probably not. I don't know what you can do in a bye week where you don't have a game other than go to the jugs machine a couple more times and get a couple more balls in practice. At this point, you kind of are what you are. You can get a little bit better, but I think you are what you are at this point.
Yeah. The talent is there. There's no doubt. And can they find that again? That becomes the biggest issue. I'm going to say under 50%. I don't think it's going to be, a nothing type of remainder of the season for Brian Thomas Jr., but it's not going to be anywhere near where it was a season ago. And that brings up biggest concern number 2. That is the quarterback. That is Trevor Lawrence. He has done some nice things. He has also done some disappointing things. You can go to Brian Thomas Jr., and you absolutely can make the point, it's really not even an argument, that Thomas Jr. was a better receiver with Mac Jones. I mean, the numbers support that. Go back to that Miami game last year. Again, he caught 4 balls in the first half. They didn't even throw the football to him in the second half. I know a lot of that is on the play calling. Also, a lot of that, especially when you're trailing, is on the quarterback to make the right reads and go through his progressions. I think with Trevor, the fact that he hasn't turned the ball over the last couple of weeks is a good sign. It still comes down to, for me, when you look at Trevor Lawrence, does he have the ability to make those around him better? All right, we just talked about elite and how Jacksonville, personnel-wise, is nowhere near elite. There's a couple of possibilities. Can Trevor Lawrence take an average player and make him above average? Can Trevor Lawrence take a young player and gradually be a big part of his development on a week-to-week basis? So far in his career, the answer to that question would be no. Consistency remains his biggest problem. He's missing way too many short passes, screen passes, layups, 14 screens to Travis Etienne, 8 incomplete passes to Travis Etienne. Totally unacceptable. These guys have been together now for what, 8 years? If you go back to Clemson. So Trevor will make, and even his touchdown late in the fourth quarter to Hunter was a pass that only a few guys in the league can make. But there are other times where he just misses. He overthrows, he underthrows, he's not putting the ball where it is supposed to be. At this point in his career, Trevor Lawrence should be a difference maker. And he hasn't been. Now, it's not all his fault. We get that. Problem number 3, the offensive line. It has gone back to its old ways. It's as soft as puppy poo. I mean, they allowed 37 pressures last week to the Los Angeles Rams. They have allowed now in, 2 games? Let me find this for you. 67 pressures and 14 sacks? What in the hell has happened to the offensive line? Well, I'll tell you what's happened to the offensive line. They haven't been able to run the football. We knew that was going to be the case against Seattle. I thought going into the game against Los Angeles, if they were able to run it, they were going to be able to win that game. They couldn't. LA did a decent enough job where they were forced to abandon it, and you end up throwing the ball twice the amount of times that you ended up rushing the football. That's the biggest key of it all. If you're able to, getting away from personnel now, individual players, just talking about what the team needs to do with a group effort to allow these players individually to play better, run the ball. I mean, running the ball fixes all of our problems. It does. It's amazing what actually will take place. So Trevor Lawrence has not had success with guys running the ball the last, 3 weeks. It has changed drastically. It's amazing. If you look at rushing the football, let's see here. ETN in weeks 1 through 4, okay, his average per carry was 6.1. In weeks 5, 6, and 7, his average per carry is 3.8. All right? That has changed drastically. So that is a factor. Also, this came out either yesterday or today, which just absolutely fried my brain. All right? Incompletions due to drop passes or wide receiver error. Trevor Lawrence, 39 footballs already this year. Next up, Joe Flacco with 25. Next up, Justin Herbert with 22. Think about that number. And it also goes on to say 37% of Lawrence's drop passes, okay, incomplete passes, 37% of Lawrence's incompletions are either because of dropped passes or wide receiver error. 37%. It's amazing just how bad it's been. So, to those who are going to defend Trevor and say he's not the problem, I'm going to listen to you. Well, I bragged about him 3 weeks ago against Kansas City. I still go back and forth here, all right? In my mind, I'm not giving up on Trevor Lawrence. You can't give up on Trevor Lawrence. He's here. He's making too much money. You know, the major part of the contract hasn't even set in yet. So, you know, every once in a while, do you think they'll get rid of Trevor? No, they're not going to get rid of Trevor. They can't afford to get rid of Trevor. They have one option, and that is to fix Trevor. Okay? That's what this team has to do. And I want to believe that the Liam Cohen offense is going to take a little bit of time for this thing to gel. It's been problematic. Just look at the penalties. All right? You lead the NFL in penalties. But it doesn't seem like there's any middle ground with Trevor Lawrence. You're either it's on, he's getting better, he needs help, He needs an offensive line. He needs receivers that can catch. He needs to be able to run. Or you're the other side where he's never going to be that guy. And this happens with quarterbacks. It happens all over the place. I'm in between. And I'm never in between anything. I always take a side and stick to it right or wrong. Where I'm at, though, is this. He has to make those around him better. And he doesn't consistently do that. And he has to get to the point where he is a difference maker, okay? He's being paid to be a difference maker. That is where he needs to end up. And, there are folks around the league that will tell you there's not a guy in the NFL who has a better skill set, who has more talent, and he's not providing the results. Fair or unfair, that message gets sent quite a bit. To me, those are the three real key issues. Now, I want to head to this break. In order to run the ball, my biggest concern remains the offensive line. It does more than Trevor Lawrence. I think the offensive line, when they were, for the most part, healthy, overachieved early on, and now we're seeing you got to do something here. Are you going to sit down Walker Little? Are you going to sit down Patrick McCarry, who they just brought in? Or are they going to simply say, that's our best five, and we're going to walk them out there against Las Vegas, and we're going to walk them out there week after week after week, and hopefully things will change for the better. All right, when we come back, a little bit more on offense, and let's get to the defense. And you want to jump on in, we'd love to hear from you. 641-1010 on our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, let's welcome those in on YouTube tonight. Just go to YouTube, 1010XL, into the night.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags.
Here's hoping for a raise the roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Pickett here. Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139, plus a free haul, and take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is RJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Kuhn Flowers. They do it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
4-3 Jaguars on a break. We'll be back at it next week. Looking forward to getting out to Las Vegas. It's the only NFL stadium I haven't seen. By the way, Derek Truck's going to be out there next week, too. So that's going to be a lot of fun. He's not playing. He's just going out there as a fan. We discussed that last night. So Trucks and the Tedeschi Trucks band in on Friday and Saturday over at the St. Aug Amp. All right. Trying to realistically put a percentage or a chance on, fixing the biggest concerns that this football team has. And in my opinion, Brian Thomas Jr. is far and away number one. Trevor's 2. The offensive line is 3. The best way to help all of those would be run the football. How realistic is that? I think they're a better run-blocking group than they are a pass protection group. All right? You got to get lathered up and run the football. ETN's had a real good year. He's made a lot of people miss, and he's also broke some tackles. But you got to get out. You got to get in front. You can't come from behind and expect to win. If that's the case, you become one-dimensional. And, Trevor Lawrence has been getting a ton of pressure put on him week after week. I mean, it's just nuts, man. 67 pressures in the last 2 weeks. All right, let's get to the defense. This is a no-brainer. It's the pass rush. It's gone. I mean, you're last in the NFL. You have 8 sacks in 7 games. And you've got some really talented players there. There's no doubt. I mean, a healthy Trayvon Walker is a really good football player, okay? Probably was the best football player the first 4 games in, right there with Devin Lloyd, right? I would imagine you would agree with me there. That's the way that I would look at it. Josh Hines-Allen, as I said a little bit earlier, he's really playing well, but the numbers don't support it. And, again, he's a home run hitter, so you're looking at a power hitter in Major League Baseball, and the singles and the doubles aren't working. All right? The great defensive play in the outfield isn't working. You want the long ball. Right or wrong, the first thing that people look at with Josh Hines-Allen are sacks. He's got a half a sack on the year. So that is an issue. The interior defensive line, at times they've shown up. Eric Armstead, I think, has had a decent season, certainly expecting more out of Mason Smith, who at least 6 games in has graded out the highest as an interior defensive line when it comes to pass rush, but he had, the fewest amount of snaps. Hopefully that changes in the second half of the season. They're a solid defense, right? They only allow 91 yards a game against the run. They haven't forced a takeaway in 2 straight games, yet they have 14 on the season. You know how important that is. That is absolutely enormous. The turnover ratio is absolutely out of this world. And when Jacksonville went, 3-3-3-4 as far as turnovers in their first 4 games, you saw what they did. They went 3-1, and they had a bad call in Cincinnati. Should have been 4-0. So they come in bunches. I do believe they're going to get more of an opportunity to get takeaways, but obviously that's gone to the wayside the last couple of weeks. And then you bring up the secondary, and, here's where I am with it. First of all, I need more Travis Hunter on offense. I'm going to sacrifice what's going on defensively at this particular point because of the lack of consistency with your offense. To me, as I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, Travis Hunter should be the primary target here on out. All right? I want double-digit targets every single Sunday. That means he's getting less snaps defensively. I'm okay with that. He only had 14 last week. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do in the secondary. Buster Brown's been playing some good football the last couple of weeks. You're just not getting, a ton of playing time out of Newsome. In a perfect scenario, it would be Jordan Lewis playing just nickel. They can't bank on that right now. They have to play him as a corner and then, move him inside. I don't know what's going on with Jarian Jones. They haven't gone to him in 5 straight games. He's just not playing. And, you look at improvement and how things are better this year than they were a year ago. Boy, that's one I didn't see with Jarian Jones. And I don't know if it's never going to work or it's just going to take him a while to adapt to this new defensive scheme. They'll tell you that, the latter. But realistically, is it just never going to work for this guy in this defense? They kind of thought that about Tyson Campbell, although I am always going to believe the premier reason why they moved Tyson Campbell was to get rid of that just awful contract. It's time to sit down Dewey. Okay? He's not an NFL safety against the pass. And he played 70 snaps against Los Angeles. He had a Pro Football Focus rating of 29.9. We've seen in consecutive weeks touchdowns allowed. All right, bad call. He had 2 penalties last week. One was egregious. It was awful. He's late getting there. It's not his forte. If you were playing against classic run-the-football teams, he would be much needed closer to the box as a, traditional strong safety or even in a third safety set. But when you're throwing it all across the football field, you've been taking on some good QBs lately. The reclamation project of Sam Darnold, and for crying out loud, a veteran, a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Matthew Stafford. No. Now, Eric Murray went out with a neck. He only had 35 snaps. Antonio Johnson came in, had 39 snaps. He had a Pro Football Focus rating of 73.1. Okay? And Johnson's one of those guys that you've been waiting on and waiting on and waiting on. There's no question that they've had these conversations, that they sit at the Miller Electric Center and they look at the film and they go back and forth and they say, what about Johnson? What about more reps for Johnson? What about less snaps for Dewey? Okay, I compare this to what's going on with Makari. I compare this to what's going on with Little. They know more than anyone else. They're around him all the time. It's so easy for me to sit here and say, bench Makari, bench Walker Little, bench Dewey, put in Antonio Johnson, put in Chuma Edoga, put in Jonah Monheim. It's so easy for me to sit here and say that. But I'm not with them when they practice. I'm not with them when they're in the classroom. There's so many nuances that, do you not think that they're not going to put the best possible product on the field to try to win a game? Of course they are. I mean, they've shown that they're fearless. Look at the trades they've made. Look at Cohen calling out some guys, even in the preseason. I mean, they're doing all they can. They're trying to win games. And it's not like it's a year ago where you had nothing to lose, where it was basically, go ahead and play him because you're not going anywhere. This team has a chance. It still does. It could win 9 games. It could win 10 games. You play Indy twice. You have 2 wins against Tennessee sitting there that you should grab. You should win next week in Las Vegas. But it's about getting better. And I think some changes are always going to be forced because of injury. not all the time do you see changes occur because you just bench a guy and play someone else. All right, so there you go. Those are my thoughts on, biggest concerns of this team and realistically what I believe they can fix. You still have November 4th around the corner. This football team could add via the trade deadline. All right, much more to do, and it's going to include you. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Let's welcome those watching tonight on YouTube. It's 1010XL into the night.
The Gator Boys are back and ready to defend their national title.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
This is Gator Country. Your home for Gators hoops is 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 22nd, 1963, Jim Brown set the NFL single-season rushing record with 1,863 yards.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Okay, listen up, team. They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jax, so we gotta play like the experts we are. When customers call with leaky faucets, broken water heaters, toilet repairs, broken pipes, or any other challenge, we'll give them the solution fast. Now, who are we?
Roland Reach Plumbing!
I can't hear you.
Roland Reach Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like. Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjax.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until October 31st. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Maybe some Hall of Fame talk next hour. Congratulations to Jimmy Smith, Fred Taylor, both on the 52-player modern day list. Time permitting, we'll get into that. John Osher is going to join us at 7 o'clock, so certainly much more on the Jags. I did listen to the Mike Norvell press conference today in God's Country, and I think the simple way for me to describe it would be lipstick on a pig, okay? The fact that they walked him out there was just an embarrassment. And I may get to this a little bit later on, but really the only thing you need to know is no update on Tommy Castellanos. Okay, don't know if he's going to play against Wake Forest. I think where you're at now, I know I would much rather see the rookie, walk him out there and see if he can do it. But Mike Norvell obviously is going to do whatever he can to try to win a football game. No questions asked about the death threats. And this is really problematic for me, okay? This is serious. Tony White said he's receiving death threats, not threats. It needs to be fully investigated. This can't be passed off as simply an aggravated Florida State fan. And by the way, for the record, this is an awful look for Florida State fans. You don't even know that it's a Florida State fan. This could be a rival of Florida State that is just stirring things up. It's another reason why this needs to be investigated. It's difficult enough that Florida State fans are dealing with this. They don't need to deal now with being told that someone in their group, their following, has been sending death threats. Okay? I mean, no. So I believe the grown man. He said it. He couldn't be an individual who would stand up there and say it and have it not happen, right? I mean, he's obviously aware of what Jim McElwain did a few years ago at the University of Florida. So these allegations right now, until we hear differently, come in against the Florida State fan base. Investigate. Where are the receipts? Where are the phone calls? Where's the social media? Where's the texting? Where's the email? I mean, you just can't let it go. I mean, it's one thing that they're not going to investigate a black eye, which I do have a feeling at some point is going to come out. And it's going to be a monumental story, and it's going to be a huge miss by the local media for not asking that question. Again, what they told me, the stupid backpack hit him in the eye, is one of the most absurd. I didn't even talk about it.
You talking about the turnover backpack they had once upon a time?
Willie Taggart's door to the – yeah. It was so much BS that I refused to even talk about it for at least a week. That's what they're selling. No one believes that a strap from a backpack hit him perfectly in the eye and gave him a black eye. I don't believe it. It's a cover-up, okay? And again, I think the truth's going to come out at some point. You can't take someone saying, I have been receiving death threats and not investigate it. You have to get down to the bottom line. And you got to find out who did this. And they should absolutely be held accountable. They should be arrested. They should not be allowed anywhere near the Florida State campus. I understand being heated. I understand saying things that you regret. And I'm not saying that's the case here for Tony White. I am giving him the benefit of the doubt. I believe him. But I also want receipts. I want to know. What happened here? The FBI has enough stuff on their plate. There's enough crazies out there in our world. They don't need to stop what they're doing and investigate this thing at Florida State if, in fact, it didn't happen. But you have to find out either way. But Florida State's so great at just, let's not talk about it anymore and it'll go away. How can this not be the number one issue? You had a school shooting there recently. Your coach is saying he's getting death threats. He wasn't asked about. Mike Norvell walked him out yesterday. Mike Norvell should have been out there yesterday ahead of this. So you better get on it. And you better be investigating it and find out. Protect this man, protect his family. And get down to the bottom of it. I hate to say it this way, but it's my alma mater, and I feel like they won't. They'll just screw this up. Like they screw up everything. Let's get back to the Jaguars. John Osher's next.
When the hourglass runs out of sand, 1010XL puts time back on the clock. Hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram bring you the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter, flavored by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting.
When it comes to your utility bill, JEA wants to help you use less so you can save more. We offer a variety of free programs, like efficiency and irrigation assessments that'll teach you ways to conserve energy and water around your home. Our alerts will let you know when your utility usage has reached a set amount, and our rebates can help you save when upgrading to more efficient appliances and equipment. Find even more ways to save at JEA.com.
Jeff Lageman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.com.
All right, it's Rick Ballou. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside has Ram 1500s, the heavy-duty 2500s, ProMasters, and custom uplifts ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
The Friday Night Lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Football season is all about hanging at home and watching the big ball games. Well, if your AC and heating unit is letting you down and keeping those electric bills sky high, think about getting a new energy-efficient AC unit from Florida Home AC. They've got great deals on replacements plus rebates and incentives to make it more affordable. Call Florida Home AC at 777-4300 and get their expert staff to take a look. Football season is all about fun and playing for the win. Make sure you have the winning team on your side with Florida Home AC.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Jaguar fans, Palm Beach Autographs is putting together a Fanatics exclusive with a chance for you to meet and get an autograph from Trevor Lawrence and Ryan Thomas Jr. All the details are at palmbeachautographs.com. It's happening October 28th at Palm Beach Autographs in the Avenues Mall.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's John Osher's theme music. Imagine Johnny O back in the day on the dance floor. We're in the process of finding him. We'll adapt. We'll change on the fly. We'll go to a 3 tight end set like Sean McVay did, 38% of the time against Jacksonville. Kind of a teacher-pupil moment. Did not see that coming. And a very effective day for the tight ends in Los Angeles. I think 8 receptions, 101 yards. I mean, you look around, he had 7 different skill guys involved in that very first drive. All we kept hearing about is Puka's out, and, that's what a Super Bowl winning quarterback was able to do. All right, let's bring him in. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. He's back from London, and he is John Osher with Rick Ballou. John, I hope you had a nice trip.
It was all right. It didn't end well, and it was pretty low key. Other than that, but look, not a good day to be a Jaguar.
No, it was a bad game, but it's been it's a tough way to go into a bye considering the way that this season began. So you and I have been doing this forever. Last year at this point, the season was over. Okay. This year, they're 4-3. They're in the thick of it. Where are you with the Jaguars 7 games in?
Well, I think you got to keep perspective on it. And, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was after the Cincinnati game, Baselli asked me what I thought. And I said, look, I think you're going to be in all but, 2 or 3 games. And I think you're going to get routed in a couple of them because first-year regime, that tends to happen. And I say routed, just not competitive at the end. It's really only happened once. I think Sunday was the game where they weren't in it. I anticipate that might happen once more this season because that happens when you're adjusting to new and not everybody's quite on the same page. I think if they can get back to playing with the identity of the first 5 games, I think you can win 5 or 6, be 9-8, 10-7, have a chance to get in, which is what I thought they were beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key is at some point you got to get Trayvon back with 2 hands, and I think you got to get Brenton Strange back in the lineup because to me they're the team's identity. So I think those 2 guys would go a long way to getting them back to we're a physical defense and offense. We can run the ball. So I think that the sooner those guys get back, the sooner they're back to what they were.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and I created a list tonight. I don't know if I'll get to it or not, but I ranked what I thought were the top 8 Jaguars players first 7 games. And number 1, I had Devin Lloyd. Number 2, I had Trayvon Walker. Number 3, I had Brenton Strange. And 2 are out, and 1's playing with 1 arm. I mean, it's league-wide. It's league-wide, but that's a big problem right now.
Well, and, in the beginning of a regime, which is what, I get that people don't like talking about that during the season, but it is the first year of this. And it's hard. By your second or third year, you've acquired, signed, you've drafted guys who fit what you do. When it's first starting, you don't have as many guys that fit what you do. And that's evident by the fact they've made, 6 or 7 significant trades since all this started, getting rid of Tank, bringing in Newsom. They're trying to find guys who fit. And, when you lose 3 guys who've been performing at a high level for you, you're probably not going to have the depth to withstand that when you first get to a place and first get something started. So, look, I tend to say you got to overcome injuries. But those 2 guys, when they beat the Chiefs without those 2 guys, I thought that was significant because they won a game without your 2 best players, who to me are Trayvon and Brenton Strange. It felt like it maybe started catching up with them a little bit, although I'm not going to sit here and say they would have won the game Sunday with those 3 guys in the lineup.
John Osher is our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Interview is brought to you by the good folks over at Twin Peaks as he joins Rick Ballou here on Into the Night. All right, personnel changes. Offensive line, Dewey at safety. Do you think anything changes before they head out to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they change anything at safety just because, I get that he's gotten beat a couple of times, but I think the veteran, the knowledge, getting guys lined up over the long run, I think that matters at safety. I wouldn't be surprised if they love Wyatt Milam. They've got a bye. They've got an extra practice next week to work him in. I'm not hearing that. With London in the rear view, I haven't had a chance to talk to people because it's such a crazy week with the bye in London. But it wouldn't surprise you if at some point Wyatt Milam's going to start for this team. It wouldn't be surprising if before the end of the season that happens, and maybe before Las Vegas. But that's speculation on my part.
Okay, interesting. I was talking about as we brought you on, really, a teacher moment here against, his one-time coach under him and Liam Cohen. Sean McVay really showed some things he had not shown a lot of, particularly going to those 3 tight end sets and then getting just basically everyone on that offense involved, when it came to passing and receiving the football on Sunday.
Yeah, veteran Hall of Fame quarterback, head coach who, if he's not going to the Hall of Fame, he certainly is the trendsetter of the league right now. It's turning into a McVay league. There wasn't a game plan for if Puka wasn't in the lineup. I mean, you hadn't seen that. And it did look in the first half like they did some things that were unscouted looks, if you will. So that all mattered. To me, the tone of the game was set when the Jaguars were in long yardage on their first 3 drives, and the Rams never sniffed long yardage on their first 2 drives.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's 14-0, and this is not a team, meaning the Jaguars, that can play against the sticks or the score yet and win very many games. And I thought that was the story of the game.
Yeah, coming from behind is tough in this league, there's no doubt, and that is not a forte. You go to early in the season, they had leads, and they were also able to run the ball. When you look at some of these situations and you have all the Brian Thomas Jr. talk and the consistency of Trevor talk, let's get straight to running the ball. That fixes so much. Do you believe that they can get back to where they were the first 5 weeks of the season when it came to running the football?
Yeah, if they stop walking backwards between plays, penalty-wise.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of what I was getting at a little bit with the last comment about the first 3 drives of the game, they were in they were in something in double digits, all 3 of those drives, and punted. It's hard to run into 2nd and 12. Yeah, and so I think if they can stop getting in these long down and distances, then yes, I think they can get back to running the ball with some level of effectiveness. And I also think, Rick, if you can get Brenton Strange back, that really helps the running game. And I'm not trying to put everything on a third-year tight end, but they were running the ball really well with him in the lineup, and they haven't run it as well without him. So I think that has hurt everything. He's a really good run blocker, and I think he gives them that element that's hard to find with him out of the lineup.
That is no doubt. Maybe I don't want to say underrated when it comes to that. He's acknowledged for his great run blocking, but he is certainly missed. All right, let's wrap with Devin Lloyd. Liam Cohen, gave us an answer the other day. What's your understanding in 11 days against Las Vegas? Do you think Devin Lloyd will be able to return?
It sounds like they're hopeful. I don't know if it's guaranteed yet. But it certainly sounded on when Liam was talking that they're hopeful. Again, I think you miss the turnovers without Devin, but I don't know that he's going to keep a 1-a-game pace anyway. I don't think you fall off that much with Ventrell Miller in terms of the basic play-to-play stuff. So I don't think they're lost without Devin Lloyd the way they are with Trayvon with one hand. Getting Trayvon to be able to play with 2 hands, that affects the pass rush when he can't do it. It affects the run game. That's the one I'm watching for, when he can start using his fingers rather than a club.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, I mean, absolutely. Just a totally different football player, and getting him healthy and getting Devin Lloyd healthy is only going to help on that side of the football. Help drastically on that side of the football. He is John Osher. Read everything from John. Just go to Jaguars.com. He is the senior writer. Thanks, pal.
Rick, thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you.
See you soon. There he goes, John Osher. And, you look around the league. Let's go to the AFC only. The hottest teams right now in pro football in the AFC, New England's won 4 in a row. New England's 5-2. It feels like they absolutely have the right coach. And they got a young quarterback they like in Drake May. And look what that organization did in the offseason. The amount of money they spent in free agency, primarily on the defensive side. Denver's won 4 in a row. Again, young quarterback, great coach, just finding ways to win football games. Indianapolis has won 3 in a row. I didn't forecast that. I thought they would be 3rd in the division. I had Houston winning it for a 3rd consecutive year. I had Jacksonville certainly battling them. I projected the Jaguars would go 10-7. Indy, absolutely on fire right now with Daniel Jones. How much longer can you expect for that to take place? Kansas City was, 2-3, 1-3, 2-3. They've now won a couple in a row and have a 4-3 record. And you look at teams that were probably, I never really do power rankings, but if you look at teams that were projected to be among the elite in the AFC, Baltimore, they've lost 4 straight. And they're 1-5. Buffalo, they've lost 2 in a row. They're 4-2. Those 2 teams both coming off byes this weekend. So, I'm only saying that because when I do a show like this, identifying what I believe are the biggest concerns on this football team and how fixable are they for the second half of the year, and I ask you for your opinion. You've given us a ton. I want to point out that this is far from the exception to the rule. There's not a great team right now in the NFL. There's not a team right now where you can point at it and say they're going to rep the AFC in the Super Bowl. They're going to rep the NFC in the Super Bowl. Dylan, I made the comment before the start of the year. You have 32 teams in the NFL. You have 150 some odd in college football. I think there are more teams today who can honestly win the Super Bowl than there are teams who can win a national championship.
Yeah, and it's always been like that. In college football, it's always been the team that's got the most money, the blue bloods, are usually the teams. It's usually you have 4 teams in college football, and there's a big gap. And then you might have 5, 6, and then there's another gap. The NFL usually have about 7 or 8 every year. And then you usually find out about December who the 4 or 5 are, and then you can figure it out from there.
Can't believe I'm doing this when I'm actually looking at playoff scenarios. Indy would win the South. New England would win the East. Denver would win the West. Pittsburgh would win the North. Wild card teams, Buffalo, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville. Jacksonville has the head-to-head over Kansas City.
Have you seen college football? Can you give me the top 4 odds to win the national title?
Right now?
Via Hard Rock, right now.
Gosh, top 4 to win the national title. Well, I got to go with undefeated teams because they do that because they're trying to get money. So I'm obviously going to say Ohio State.
Ohio State's 1 plus 60.
I'm going to say Texas A&M.
Texas A&M is 6.
They're 6th on the list?
Yeah, 6 plus 1,100.
All right.
They're tied for 5th.
Both Alabama and Georgia.
Alabama is 2nd plus 650. Georgia is plus 1,100 as well, tied with A&M.
Okay. Where's Indiana? Because they're undefeated and they won at Oregon. And again, I just have trouble saying Indiana. And I have an issue saying the Indiana Hoosiers in a national championship in college football.
Indiana is plus 850. They're 3rd.
Wow.
So Ohio State is at plus 260. Alabama plus 650. Indiana is 3rd plus 850. Oregon plus 900.
Incredible. Yeah, and you know, with a 12-team playoff, and you just pointed it out with the parity, it's wide open this year in college football, more wide open than it's ever been. But I still think the true blue bloods are going to emerge here when it's all said and done. It's tough to be a coach right now in college football, and I'm not defending, what happened to Billy Napier, and I'm certainly not defending what is going to happen with Mike Norvell, but it is a league. It absolutely is filled with just massive parity right now. And frankly, I miss the day of dynasties. I do, both in pro football and in college football. There's something about being a dominant team year after year after year. I love it, and we don't have it in either one of those two sports. All right, much more to do. Let's get you involved. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Folks are going nuts. I think they're having drinking games tonight on YouTube. Into the night. Just go to YouTube 1010XL Into the Night.
It's the secret sauce of a successful football team.
This is a special group of men.
Each week, Superior Plumbing spotlights the special teams player of the game.
It was complete domination in all 3 phases.
That's how you win football games.
On 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Looking for a dealership that makes car buying easy? Let me tell you why Nimnick Buick GMC is the place to shop. At Nimnick, you'll find unbeatable prices, a huge selection of Buicks and GMCs, plus flexible financing that works around your budget. Whether it's a new SUV, a work-ready truck, or a certified pre-owned, they've got you covered. They back it up with trusted service and transparent deals. Don't wait. Shop 24/7 online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Northeast Florida Auto, Power Sports, and RV dealers. Tom McMahon is here for Dealer Connect. The nation's #1 AI conference for dealers is coming to Jacksonville October 29th and 30th at the Marriott Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach. It's 2 days of tackling the future of AI in automotive with some of the industry's biggest names. Keynote speaker, Hall of Famer Joe Theismann will autograph items to benefit the Tom Coughlin J Fund. Get tickets now at DealerConnect2025.com. That's DealerConnect2025.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 22nd, 1963, Jim Brown set the NFL single-season rushing record with 1,863 yards.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Pick it here for Zero Res. Are you scared of ghosts? Of course you're not. They aren't nearly as scary as some of the things that Zero Res sees in those air ducts. Ducks straight out of a horror film filled with spooky ducks. Gross dander, creepy cobwebs. Which is why Zero Res is here to banish monsters hiding in your vents. Don't be afraid of ghosts. Be afraid of what's in your air ducts. Call Zero Res today and take advantage of our October special. Mention 1010XL. They're offering 15% off duct and dryer vent cleaning. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
This football season, make Hurricane Grill and Wings your game day getaway. Sip on handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita or enjoy an ice-cold Bud Light. Game day drink specials are here all season. Find a location near you at hurricanewings.com.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Grab your cowboy hat for the Beach Barbecue Bash presented by Sunshine State Plumbing and Reliable Ducks. Thursday, October 30th. Live music, sizzling barbecue, and Southern Charm supporting Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. Get tickets at bgcnf.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we do tonight till 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night until 8 o'clock. We'll have Tim Brando on tomorrow night. We'll have the Philly Godfather on tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Then Friday, 4 to 6 on 1010. That'll be on the AM 1010. Then I'll make my way to St. Augustine for Tedeschi Trucks on Friday night. 2 shows in town. Still some tickets, I imagine, floating around, but looking forward to seeing you folks out there. 0882 says, while we're at it, let's blame Gladstone for trading Campbell, as much as I hated him getting burned, but it might have made guys scared. Listen, I understand why they traded Tyson Campbell. It was an awful contract, and he was an average player. So I just went through a scenario how anyone can win the Super Bowl, how it's wide open this year. Never once have I thought that this year's team can win the Super Bowl. They are building for the future. Now, they're not asking you to be patient. I'm not asking you to be patient. This is a better team. This is a better organization. But by moving the contract of Campbell is going to afford them to bring in a big-time player at one position, or maybe just as simple as re-signing Devin Lloyd. So I think you have to take that into consideration. And, you know, the Newsom deal is a show-me deal. You know, it's just like a Diami Brown. It's Travis Etienne in the final year of his deal. if Newsome performs well and gets more involved during the second half of the season, okay, then they can elect to re-sign him. If not, they just let him go. And they go into free agency and they go into the draft. So I think you have to look at it that way. I do agree that is the way that you should. 0030 Blue. Were y'all talking about? What are the guys talking about? You will find out. We'll get offensive linemen that can block it for 3 seconds. All of a sudden, the passes will be where they're supposed to be, and the wide receivers will catch them. We don't need any more BS. We got the 2 best edge rushers in the league. We have good wide receivers. All right, fair points. Absolutely fair points. And we identified them all about how the offensive line has to get better. I mean, there's just no way that you can accept. I still look at this and I freak out, man. 67 pressures in the last 2 games. 14 sacks in the last 2 games. I'm in agreement with you. And obviously, if you can fix that, Trevor's going to have more success. And if you can run the ball, then that really helps things twofold. But my point with Trevor is this. He needs to be a difference maker. He needs to recognize that he's got only 2 seconds. Okay? He needs to make those around him better. That's what he's paid for. We have clearly identified the other scenarios, even to the point where a year ago I was still making excuses for Trevor Lawrence. Okay? Year 5, I'm not. And I know it's year 1 of a new regime. He needs to step up. Guys around him as well, no doubt. But I think that absolutely has to happen when you look at what's going on with this football team. 66-38. Hey, Rick, are we going to regret trading up for Travis Hunter? And now that he's bad, he's going to be a bust more than what we got for him. Still way too early to tell, and I say no. I think we saw in the second half what I believe is going to happen now on a weekly basis. Travis Hunter becomes the primary target for Trevor Lawrence. Looking forward to going to that game in Las Vegas. It should be a whole heck of a lot of fun. And if there are not at least 10 attempted passes to Travis Hunter, to me that is disappointing. I'm willing to sacrifice snaps on defense. This guy has to get the football. It hasn't worked with Brian Thomas Jr. It really hasn't worked with Diami Brown. I mean, I think of all the airtime I wasted by telling you guys and girls during the offseason that, just get them the ball. You know, they're going to score from anywhere in the football team. This is the fastest wide receiver core they've had. Well, who've been the 2 best wide receivers? Travis Hunter and Parker Washington.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a debate there.
Yada, 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 yada. Let's see, 4010 Blue. I saw Tedeschi Trucks in Guilford, New Hampshire, Labor Day weekend 2024. My mom was born in Keene, New Hampshire. Of course, Susan Tedeschi is from Massachusetts, much like I am. Glad you saw that show. Always a fun show. 8630 Ballou. Number 16 is Blake Bortles with a better spiral. Has so much more talent. Blake Bortles was drafted ahead of where he should have been. Okay, and I think that's been admitted by about everyone. Every one of the 32 general managers in the NFL would have either picked Trevor Lawrence, or if you were a team like Kansas City or Cincinnati, whatever, you would have traded the pick to a team that wanted the quarterback. He's still got an opportunity here, no doubt about it. But I think it's time. 1603 Blue. We know that Trevor throws dimes when he is on. He is real good, and to take Josh Allen, Peyton Manning a few years to get elite with no coordinator changes. Absolutely. And Peyton had Hall of Fame wide receivers with him and a Hall of Fame tailback. Buffalo's had some very talented skill position guys They have a top 5 tailback in the league now in Cook. And, their wide receivers, maybe not the dominant true number one that they have, but they certainly have some good ones. 2382, Ballou, Trevor plays like he's stoned sometimes.
I thought a lot of things. I never thought that.
Yeah. Who's the guy who said he smoked dope? Was it Marshawn Lynch?
Percy Harvin.
Man.
I think he said he did it before every game.
I know the drug affects everyone differently. And there were times at Florida State when I was young and I was running and I was ripping that I could play racquetball and do all sorts of things on it. Back when I consumed it at least a little bit. There's no way. Can you imagine playing a game like that under marijuana after what it does to you?
No shot. Not for me.
Now, it didn't make me lethargic back then. It would now. It make me paranoid now and what have you, unless I had like 20 beers in me. That's the only time I could ever do it now. I just can't. I just can't adapt. You start worrying about things that you can't control. I didn't do that when I was young. I'm going to say that I don't believe that is the case, that he plays stoned. 11-17, Ballou. Dog wide receivers, suck up to the ball. We don't have a dog other than Hunter. We need lots of players to become difference makers. Josh Hines, Allen, Brian Thomas Jr., even Cam Little, and yes, Trevor. There's no doubt. You're never going to get to where you want to get unless they become the very best at what they do. And I use the word elite. I think Cam Little's going to be fine. I'm not worried at all about that. I didn't even put him on the concern list. He's in a slump. And, he was so ridiculously accurate in camp and then preseason. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm not concerned there. I think they're going to fix that issue. Josh Hines, Allen, and Trevor Lawrence are always going to be the heavily criticized players. Mostly those two. Because of the amount of money they're making, right? And that's going to Josh Hines, in no particular order, top 8 players through 7 games. I had Devin Lloyd 1, Trayvon Walker 2, Travis Hunter 3, Brenton Strange 4. All right, what do they have in common there? 3 of those 4 guys have been hurt. Josh Hines Allen 5, Travis Etienne 6, Foye Oluokun 7, Parker Washington 8. My top 8 players. Take it for what you want. Argue it, that's fine. Try to get to 10, I couldn't. Couldn't find a guy in the ditch. Didn't think Trevor was worthy of it. Didn't think anyone in the secondary was worthy of it. I certainly thought that Jordan Lewis would after the camp that we saw. They had a really bad game last week. I think he was the 3rd lowest ranked defensive player, overall player, according to Pro Football Focus. Still, a great leader, and he's done some really good things. But, we're talking about consistency throughout a 17-game season. All right, we got much more to do. He's still in Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou.
1010XL celebrates the life and memory of Tony Marinatos. He was among the first to believe in our vision as an investor and our biggest supporter. A mentor and friend, Tony's spirit will carry on in the heart of 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Garrett Scantling here, and once again, thanks to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. My torn hip labrum issue is resolved thanks to Dr. Doward, and Dr. Acevedo keeps my feet healthy too. Training and competing, that's what it's all about for me. And Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has me in top condition.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer. It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Congrats to former Florida Special Teams ace Brandon James and safety Todd Johnson's induction into the Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame. Friday, October 31st, presented by Miller Electric. To attend, go to flgajax.com/Hall of Fame.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jax cool since '87.
Congratulations to Jimmy Smith and Fred Taylor. They are on the 52-player modern-day list to make the Hall of Fame. I want to go through that. I don't have time tonight, maybe tomorrow night, but I will tell you this. Running backs, it's scarce. Now, Frank Gore's up first year. Right? He's, third all-time, fourth all-time in rushing. But they haven't put a running back into the Hall of Fame since 2020, and that was Ed Jerry James. You can go back to 2017. It was Terrell Davis and LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, everyone ahead of Fred is in. He's next, along with Frank Gore. Wide receivers, I think what's hurt Jimmy a little bit is you have so many guys, and not enough have gone in. And 2 of the 3 that did go in recently are veterans. Sterling Sharp this past year, Cliff Branch back in 2022. The only modern-day wide receiver was Andre Johnson. You just have too many guys. You know, you got 6 or 7 that are on there. That's why I was hoping for 1 or 2 a year. I think something else that's going to hurt the 2 is first on the ballot. I mean, to me, there are 3 without even thinking about it. They're in. That's Drew Brees, Frank Gore, and Larry Fitzgerald. And there's other really good candidates. So I think this is a real tough year because of the list. Hate to say it that way. 0494, Ballou, how can Trevor make his receivers better if they're not catching the damn ball? Brian Thomas Jr.'s stats would be through the roof this year if he actually caught the ball. They lead the league in drops. You know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. 37% of Trevor Lawrence's incompletions are drops in wide receiver era. 37% of his incompletions. Drops are subjective. They're like pressures. You know, I've seen Thomas with as many as 8. I've seen him with as few as 6. I've seen Parker Washington with 4. I've seen Diami Brown with 3. So, yeah, this is a football team that absolutely has to hang on to the ball. They have not. No argument. No argument here. Ballou, Marshawn Lynch took a shot of Hennessy before each game.
That is correct.
Yeah, I think old school football players today, using like Art Donovan and those guys back in the day, but I think they were just chasing down beers.
Yeah, it was about beers, and then they would smoke a cig at halftime.
Oh, cigarettes, absolutely.
Marlboro Red.
Have you ever seen the legendary picture of Len Dawson smoking a butt on the bench back in Kansas City, Super Bowl winning quarterback? Certainly in baseball, too.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this picture
before. Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah, 1729. Hey, boy, back in the day, that was such a good show.
I was at the Super Bowl.
HBO's Inside the NFL with him and Nick Bonacani and he had like Jerry Glanville, but it was like the premier show, and Harry Callis, the voice of Philadelphia, you know, in the 80s and 90s, it was like can't miss television. You know, now that stuff I don't even think is still out there. It's amazing how stuff changed. 2902, Ballou talking about an awful contract, below average player. Too bad we are stuck with Trevor Lawrence. Priority number one for this organization is to fix Trevor Lawrence. I still believe Liam Cohen can do it. Not going to happen overnight. Obviously, it is not. And I think there's two schools of thought here. It's either you fix him or you're out, or he's impossible to fix, but he's still going to get at least 2 more years because of the contract. And then you convince Shad Khan that you got to move on. But that, you know, the ladder is way down. I'm totally convinced that Liam Cohen got this job by telling Shad Khan and by telling Tony Baselli, I can fix Trevor Lawrence. It's taken a little while for this offense to get gelling. I mean, it really has. They create a lot of penalties. They've dropped a lot of balls. They've allowed a lot of pressures. They still have a winning record. And frankly, they should be 5-2. So I just want you to put things into perspective. Think about where you were a year ago. And I'm not, if I sound like I'm making excuses or providing lip service, hell no. I mean, last hour I just told you about Lawrence and how he has to make players around him better. He has to become a difference maker. He is paid to be one of the best players in football. You can't keep going to the excuses. I did in his career. You know, I haven't this year, but I want to tell you, guys around him, we just gave you the drop rate. I think this is the 4th time tonight I've told you that they allowed 67 pressures in the last 2 games. 67 You don't even want your quarterback throwing the football 67 times in 2 games. You want to be able to run the ball. And he's under the microscope. He really is. 57-17 Ballou. We seriously need to trade number 41, get him out of this contract somehow. Dude has been very average. He's only had 2 double-digit sack seasons. I'm tired of the pressure king getting pressures. He's not being paid. Not the show. I said at the beginning of the show that Now, Brian Thomas Jr.'s entered the ring, but by far, on a nightly basis from you, the two most criticized players on this team are Josh Hines-Allen and Trevor Lawrence. And it's not even close. Now, Trayvon used to get it because of the number one pick, but I think those that even against him witnessed how much better of a football team Jacksonville is with Trayvon Walker. Look at Devin Lloyd. He was a disappointment in his first 4 years against the pass. He was good against the run, and he was criticized, but it was nothing, venom-wise because of where he was selected in the first round, even though Trent Baalke moved up to get him. What was he, 27th, right? Yeah, I mean, you're just not going to get the criticism when you're the 27th pick compared to being the top pick. But, I mean, I get this stuff every single night. There are people out there, and that's fine. That's your opinion. But look at the last two. Bad contract with Trevor, trade Josh Hines-Allen. Those are your two building blocks. You can maybe make the case that, Trayvon Walker is going to replace Josh Hines-Allen. Certainly they are going to do everything they can to sign him to a long-term deal. And then you got the youth of a guy like Travis Hunter. But we just talked about that last segment. Some guy was like, do you think, the Hunter deal was worth it? It's like, I can't grade this based on 7 games.
Yeah, it's too early. That's like you'll see all the time on like CBS Sports or something. They'll grade like rookies, even in their first year. You can't grade, guys that have only played 10, 12, 15 games. It's way too early.
Mm-hmm. I've witnessed this since I've been here with both players, with Hines-Allen and with Trevor. I've seen the way that the listeners, I've seen the way that the fans have changed. And that's well within your right to change. And I wish I could sit here and tell you it's going to happen for both. Again, you talk to football people, football insiders, they'll tell you that Josh Hines-Allen's playing really, really good. I don't know you want to hear about the pressure king, but they're going to tell you that. And they're going to tell you he grades out really well against the run. Let's head to this break. I mean, look at the top 5 defensive players this past week, according to Pro Football Focus. Number 1 was Travis Hunter, 82.6. He played 14 snaps. Number 2 was Josh Hines-Allen, 74.5. Antonio Johnson, 73.1 on 39 snaps. I hope he replaces Dewey in Vegas. You heard John Osha earlier this hour say that he doesn't think that's going to happen. Foye, 72.3. Ventrell Miller, 69.7. Top offensive players, Ezra Cleveland, 75.3. Anton Harrison, 73.7. Hunter, 72.7. Diami Brown, 69.1. Trevor Lawrence, 68.7. Lowest 3 grades, Makari, 26.5. Dewey, 29.9. Talked about Jordan Lewis's bad game a little bit earlier, 33.2. That's Pro Football Focus, and you can do whatever you want with that.
Do you have numbness and tingling in your fingers, or wake up at night and have to shake your hand? Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari, and at Bari Orthopedics, we have a myriad of treatments that could possibly help you. If you have numbness and tingling, you may have carpal tunnel. We have cortisone injections, PRP injections, and shockwave therapy that may help treat the numbness and tingling that you have. We also treat it surgically with endoscopic carpal tunnel release, a 2-centimeter incision that will release the nerve and have you back at work and doing what you want to do in life in no time. If you have numbness and tingling in your hand, give us a call at Bari Orthopedics or log on at BariOrthopedics.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Taste it all for less with our Sonny's Originals, packed with your choice of proteins, 2 sides, and bread, starting at $16.99. That's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights, no way. Kuhn Flowers will take care of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. Hi Flying Jacko here. Now's a good time to call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Football season is here, and the Hills Grill at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy our tailgate menus and drink specials every Saturday and Sunday. Join us after your round and cheer on your favorite team. That's Hidden Hills Golf Club, Monument Road.
How likely is it to live to be 100 years old? The answer coming up.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In the United States, about 5% of women live to be 100, but only 1.8% of men.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, it is time for Hacker Nation right here on 92.5 FM. How you doing, man?
Rick, I'm good, man. Just left T-ball practice. The young man got some hitting drills in, a little fielding work, and now we're here ready to go for Hacker After Dark.
Now, I saw him running out a grounder. I think it was earlier in the week, or it might have been over the weekend.
He does that. He does a good job of that. Well, he's 6 now, so he doesn't get to hit off the tee for the first 3 pitches. They actually have to throw him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if you miss the first 3, then they put the tee up there for you. My man got 3 hits last Friday, all with the coach pitching to him.
Does he like it?
He does. Yeah, he does. Very much so. Although, you know, when we named him Forrest, you kind of understood the whole Run Forrest thing was going to happen. And this generation isn't as much with Forrest Gump as certainly my generation was. But the parents certainly are. So the whole Run Forrest mantra has really taken over the small fries there at the Mandarin Athletic Association. So it's kind of the rallying cry right now.
Man, I love that. No doubt about it. All right, we got the NBA officially underway. We talked about that a little bit last night. Also, the return of Brad Marchand to my hometown in Boston. Didn't work out the way we wanted to.
He teared up a little bit with that tribute video. That was cool to watch.
Yeah, hockey's a different animal. They do that. I remember during a vacation, or was it a vacation or whatever? I was back in Boston. They did the same thing with Lucic, who was in visiting from Los Angeles, and they had a nice little ceremony for him. And he, Milan Lucic had a nice career in Boston, but it was nowhere near the significance of the 17 years that Marchand spent there.
Yeah, and Marchand goes down and wins a Stanley Cup with Florida. So, kind of a little bitter feeling, because I know my wife's family is still upset the Bruins did that.
Yeah. I mean, he, again, 17 years. Ray Bourque wanted out and went to Colorado and won a Stanley Cup there, in Denver. That was one thing. Marchand didn't want out. He wanted to remain with the team. But, he won a cup, and He signed a 3-year extension, got another opportunity to win another cup. All right, what do you have going on?
You mentioned opening night in the NBA. We'll talk a little association. One of my favorites, Trevor Lane, the host of the NBA Front Office Show, will join us. We'll certainly talk some Jaguar football with both Leon Searcy and Travis Holmes tonight. So we're pretty busy. We're with you till 10 o'clock.
All right. Have a fun time.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Hacker Nation. That's coming up right now. Again, I'm with you tomorrow night, 6 to 8. And then on Friday, 4 to 6 on AM 1010. We do that during high school football season, and that'll certainly be the case. Tomorrow night, Tim Brando. Tomorrow night, we'll also hear from the Philly Godfather, among others. Thank you to John Osher tonight. Thank you to you for all your contributions. For Dylan Denmark, my name is Rick Ballou. Again, we'll talk tomorrow at 6 o'clock.